Hello and welcome again to Money Tips. This is Charles Kelly. If you make one resolution or one financial resolution this new year, because this is the time of year we start thinking about making New Year's resolutions and setting our goals, then I think it should be this. Learn to manage your money better, or just learn to manage your money full stop if you're not already doing that. The reason I say that is because learning to manage your money is the foundation of every financial success, really. You can't be financially successful if you can't even manage the little you've got. It's in the Bible, isn't it? Those who can manage a little will be given a lot. Those who can't manage that, even that will be taken away from them. And this is very important. This is why I wrote the book, Yes, Money Can Buy You Happiness, because it covers money management, the 3 hours of money management, learning to manage money, manage debts. And this is the resolution I would make. I know it's easy to make a lot of New Year's resolutions, say I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to become a millionaire and all the rest of it. But let's look at the simple basics. And what does manage your money mean? Well, think about it in terms of your job. I don't know what sort of job you do, but you're probably responsible for something, a department or yourself or a job or whatever it is. You have to manage that, right? You have to know what's happening. So if you're a manager of, say, a team or a store or a department store or just a department in a company, then your bosses, your head office or your manager, your line manager will come to you every month and will ask for figures and say, well, what's happened this month? You know, how have the sales gone? What are the figures like? Even if you're working for the government, they'll still look at performance figures, KPIs, key performance figures, and you'd have to give those figures. You can't just say, well, I don't know how much we sold today. I think they look quite busy in the shop. I'm not quite sure whether we sold that much. I think we had a few returns. Yeah, no, they want accurate figures, right? And you would have to give that, and invariably you will do that. You'll be good at your job, and you'll manage your department. You'll give all those figures out, and you'll know what's happening. You'll know exactly who's in the department, what the team is doing. That's what the manager's job is for. And yet, those same people, in my experience, meeting them as a financial advisor for 25 years, meeting those people, it turns out they don't do the same thing in their own life. They manage their job very well, and they go to work, they're on time, they stay late. But when it comes to their own life, it's a mess. They're not managing their money or their time properly. And that's why I wrote, Yes, Money Can Buy You Happiness. So I would say it's ironic, isn't it, that people can be so good at their job, and yet in their private life and their financial life, it's really bad. It's rubbish. So that I would say make it your 2020 resolution to get a grip on your finances. Because at the end of the day, it affects so much of our lives. I say money can't buy, money can buy you happiness. It can buy you happiness because a little bit of money can give you that bit of peace of mind that you would not have if you're struggling for money. When you're struggling for money, when things are not going well, and when you're scratching around and people are chasing you for money, you can't be happy in that situation. So money can buy you happiness. I'm not saying money is the be all and end all and you can only be happy with money, but believe me, I know what it's like to have money and I know what it's like to not have money, and you'll feel much happier and content, at least knowing that you've got some money in the bank. So let's give you one tip right away. Start a spreadsheet. It can be a normal Excel spreadsheet to record everything that comes in and comes out every single month. If you don't know how to do it, look up a spreadsheet online or get one of those money manager apps. There's thousands of them out there. If you buy my book and send me a proof of that, I'll send you a money manager spreadsheet for free. Start a spreadsheet and just record everything that comes in, and you'll be astounded at the results of that. Just say, right, what have I... Start off with your standing orders and your direct debits, how much money goes out each month. You know what comes in. If you're on a fixed salary, you'll know exactly what's coming in. So you've got, say, $2,000, £2,000 coming in here, and your mortgage is $800, or your rent is that, and then that's your basic fixed costs, okay? And then whatever you're spending on a day-to-day basis, maybe from travel, going to work, buying coffees, lunch, put all that down in your app or your spreadsheet. And I think you'll be surprised by the results. And then at least then you will know where your money is going. You could also take out one of those bank accounts like Monzo, which gives you a very good summary of what you're spending, and it actually tells you at the moment you're spending it, where it's going. So that's quite a good one. But definitely you have to know what's coming in and also what's in your bank. So that's the first thing. Start a spreadsheet, and then secondly, have a monthly, quarterly, 6 monthly, even a yearly board meeting with your family members, maybe your other half, your partner. If you haven't got one, your bank manager, your financial advisor, your accountant, or whatever. Sit down and say, right, how are we doing? What have we done? Have we made much money this year? How much have we made? How much have we spent? Have we increased our assets? How much money have we got in the bank? Have you got any in the bank? I mean, a lot of people have got less than a few £1,000s in the bank. Most people, probably 90% of the people, have got less than a few £1,000s in the bank and could not cover 2 or 3 mortgage or rent payments if they were out of work. So in other words, they're really 2 or 3 payments from homelessness, 2 or 3 salary checks from homelessness. So that's a serious situation. So you ought to have 6 months contingency money in the bank. So aim to have that. Then look at, what are the debts like? Have your credit cards keep increasing or not? Or are you managing to pay some of those off? How much interest are you paying on your credit cards? Could you get a better deal somewhere else? Could you switch it to one of these interest-free deals and then pay off the credit card? Another thing, I mean, what interest rates are you getting on your savings? There was a report out recently that some of the worst ISAs were the high street banks like Santander, where people have set up an ISA with them, individual savings account, maybe 5-10 years ago, and just left it there, and they were offered a high rate to start with, but then that rate has gradually gone down. So they screw the existing customers and keep attracting new customers. It's one of the stupidest things that these companies do. Mobile phones and all, they all do the same thing, broadband providers and this sort of thing, but that's the way they think. But I've done the same thing. I've left an ISA for years and found, hang on a second, I'm only getting like 0.1%. I mean, 0.1% is less than the base rate. The banks can borrow money at that base rate, 0.75, and they're paying you less than the base rate on your money. It's scandalous. So that's something you've got to look at each year. So now, our savings are here. It might not be a few £1,000s, but you might as well move it over here and double your returns. And then maybe in your board meeting say, what are we going to do in the future? We've got maybe 20, 30 years to go to retirement. How are we going to retire? How much money are we putting aside for retirement? So you get the picture, right? It's all in here. But you can buy that on Amazon. It's about a tenner. You can get the online version. You get the ebook version as well, the Kindle version. I'm trying to think of it, and read how to manage your money. But definitely, whether you do that, you read the book or read a book, do something about your money so that your life will be then in control. If you control your finances and a certain aspect of your time, your life will be in control. And we know from psychologists that your happiness depends on how much control you have in your life. If your life is out of control, your money's out of control, you can't be happy because you're not in control. So that's my psychology lesson for today. Your happiness largely depends on what sort of control you have in your life, how much you feel in control of your life. So that's my tip today. Get a grip on your finances this year. Make it your New Year's resolution. Set a goal and stick to it. Start a spreadsheet so you know exactly where your money is going and what's coming in. And then have regular board meetings, if you like. Sit around the kitchen table where most of the decisions are made in the household. Sit around the kitchen table with the important people in your life or your financial advisor, and just review what you've done in the last year and review what you're going to do going forward. So thanks for listening. This is Charles Kelly bringing you money tips to help you save, earn, invest, accumulate and enjoy more money. Check out my book, Yes, Money Can Buy You Happiness. I don't know if you can see that on Amazon, and get it today and make your 2020 an awesome and fantastic financial year. Thanks very much for listening and Happy New Year.